Hey there, welcome back to Fully Defined. Build and Learn is a series where LEGO build and SolidWorks skills come together. Now in this lesson, we're about to tackle 3 parts. We have the black bar with a round plate and a hollow stud. We have a curved slope part, 3x1, and we have another slope part, this time with a grill. I'll take you through how I modeled each of these components, 2 of them starting from scratch, and 1 with some simple changes to the starting geometry, but then all the details after that completely fresh. All right, let's get started. Hey, let's keep going. We're up to number 24. First time we've seen that kind of part. 6168647 Okay, plate round 1x1 open stud. Interesting. Okay, 1 by open studs. That's going to be same type of part. I think so. Let's have a look here. Small grey part, kind of clear, difficult to see. Still got a lot of parts to make. Good. All right, so we're missing a part. This one, I thought we had it originally, but this step 24, we'll have to go back through that big Lego pack and see where it is, because it's not here. So we move on. Next part, 25. It's a bar 1L, 1x1 round plate with hollow stud. I think we'll create this one from scratch. So let's get into it. We can use, I don't think we can use anything around it. We will just have a look at some of the details. We will see it's quite small. It's a round plate. It's got a normal brick on the top. It's got a little level here. And then it has a round end and flat join there with a little hole for a sink mark and a rib on the bottom. So even see the part numbers on the inside. They are tiny. Can we zoom in? Well, even enough to see the detail. Let's give it a model. So let's start on top plate, and we will use calipers to get the outer diameter right. And it's going to be, well, let's assume it's going to be 7.8 before we measure it, 7.8. So we drop that, 7.8. Now that's at the widest point, okay, but the widest point is only at the top. Well, the top, the middle level. And the height of that is the usual 3.2. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go up 3.2. Let's do the usual brick element on the top. That is going to be 4.8 offset 0.8 extrude up 3.2. Was it 1.6? I forget. Let's check. 1.6. Apologies. 1.6. Okay, now let's thin this out on the bottom. So the diameter of that round part is only 6.4. Does that make sense? Yes, 6.4. And wall thickness, usual 0.8. Okay, so we're going to do some flip side to cut here. So we're going to go up to that surface and offset by, say, 1. So we will go here, we go offset from surface. 1, it's going to cut the inside and the outside for us at the same time. Okay, now we'll do the additional round part. It has a diameter of 3.2. Don't know its exact height position, and we're going to struggle to measure that. Looking at it, we'll suggest it's kind of in the middle. So let's use a midpoint and drop that on right in the middle. Now it is, we'll extrude that all the way out. It becomes 15.8. Yeah, 15.8. That's neat. 15.8 from this very end here. So that's going to be hard one to dimension. But what we can do is on this top plane, do a sketch to help us, 15.8, and make that for construction. So then when we do this extrude here, we can actually start it from the vertex, the end point, and we can go change the direction and go up to next. And I'll just go all the way in and then merge, right? It's a very neat way of just going from the outside, and now we can do the rest of the detail that we need. So the flat section, for instance, on the top, that starts at what looks like 5.8 from the end. So we can do a sketch here, convert that edge, and draw another rectangle here with a dimension, 5.8. And let's use a contour selection. So this area, I'm going to go up to this surface. Very nice. Here on the bottom, it's solid, except there's another little rib, very small. Rib is 1.8, 1.6 millimeter, let's say. It comes out a tiny bit, and there's also a little straight section. So on this bottom section here, so let's draw that rib in. And what do we say? 1.8. Also a little bit of a thicker section just in the corner. This bit, let's offset that, 0.4. That's about right. And down here. These dimensions are too small to measure accurately. So instead, I'm just going by eye because I want to get a approximate appearance. Some edges that we don't need. I do want, there's a sketch there. there isn't. So I'll just add a round that goes through the middle. Don't like it and delete one. I'm just trying to do this without losing all dimensions. Close enough to 9.2 on the back side of this one. There we go, fully defined. And let's just select some contours to use. This one, this one, this one, this one. There you go, go down up to next. Very good. All right, let's save. Plate one by one with open stud. Great. Save and insert. Those ones are going here. Oh, next. Hi. Are we at halfway? No. But we're getting up to some repeat parts, so that's cool. Two of those green ones. So it's these little ones here. They're going on those corners. And angled one with a lime slope with grill. Look, cool part. Definitely very cool part. It's got a very slight lip raised section on the top. It does have a similar shape around the bottom. You can see there's a couple of kind of pips on the inside, just raised areas. A few fillets on the outside too. Now this one, can we start with the other two slot part? Probably can, but it'll be completely different to the eye. So this one, I'm talking about this one here. It does give us the dimensions, so we can start with that. And we save a new file. This is called slope 18. Cool. All right, save as copy and open, and let's roll back to get the shape right from the start. So it's going to be this one here. Now our 15.8 is correct. Our front edge at 2 millimeters, it's going to be correct. This top face, which no longer has a flat section, that is going to change. So we're going to remove that and just join that one up there. That is pretty straightforward. To press OK. Now in this version, it had a boss extrude here. We're not going to use that. We will do a complete shell and then do some cuts on the top. So it's a shell. Good. We do not have this detail. We can remove that. And we don't have this detail. We can remove that. All right. So let's start from the top. Right off the bat, there is a very thin wall section that goes around the outside. So let's do a quick convert and do an extruded cut with a thin feature that goes approximately the distance that we want. And then our depth is going to be very small. I'm going to say it's only 0.2. I'm actually going to make this mid-plane so we know we cut all the way around. Okay, now we can do our slots. Now our slots are going to go through the roof. And the other thing with my cut extrude, I need to change the direction so it's coming down straight like that. Okay, cut slots. These slots have an interesting sort of angular detail. We'll do a section view here. So they cut through at an angle like this and then come straight up along those lines. We're going to repeat shape and just move the sketch to match. Now the angle we would not be able to measure, but we can measure the gaps. So the small edge at the front, now 1.4, let's say from there to there, and then the gap about 1.4. So from here to here, 1.4. And then the angle on the top, we're going to have to guess. Like if there's any clear way of getting that perfect. 60 looks pretty good. Now there's 4 of these cuts and they all look the same. So we're going to do a pattern, a linear pattern with a sketch up along this face. So we're going to go linear sketch pattern, but instead of x-axis, we're going to delete that, select this line. Then we're going to increase the spacing, insert its numbers by 4, and increase the dimension between them. We are not going to actually dimension this, or should we dimension the spacing? No, we're not. We're going to press OK, because what we're going to do, they are equally spaced, but all we're going to do is actually put a dimension in for the very last one, which from this edge to this point is about 3.2. Now that's our sketch. Let's do a cut extrude and see how it looks. I'm not yet convinced we've got it right. That looks pretty good. Let's just measure the actual distance of the cut extrude, so the slot size, and I get a dimension close to 4.8. Now I'm measuring, I can see it's 5.4. So what I'm going to have to do is change that sketch plane to front plane, which goes through the right plane, which goes through the middle of the part, and then edit the cut extrude and change the direction to mid plane and put in my dimension. That way it'll be perfectly in the middle. The only other detail left is a similar lip on the bottom to the top. Let's convert that. Let's do an extruded thin cut. Let's do a thin feature. This time it's quite small. So it's 0.4. We go blind, again quite small, 0.4. flip this direction, press OK. And this one has a couple of small fillets. So we'll go through and just add a standard 0.5mm fillet to each of these corners. Press OK, and that is done. There's no way we can measure those little pips on the inside, so we're going to leave them. All right, now to assemble, these ones are on that front section. Okay, new part, a lime slope curved 3.1. Okay, another new part, nice on the outside, sort of 3 blocks long, and a couple of ribs on the inside with a step. That's good. What can we start with to save time? That's what I'm thinking about now. Is there anything we've built that will actually help here? I don't think so. So we'll create this part from scratch. So we'll start on the right plane. We're going to sketch the approximate shape that we can see. This is a curve. There's a little straight section at the front, and that comes back. So that's our approximate shape. Now to measure this, let's just do it a couple of steps at a time. So endpoint, yeah. 6.2. Our first dimension is going to rescale our object. Next dimension overall height, 9.2. You might find later that we tweak some of these dimensions. This flat section at the front, so here, 15.4. It's very small, flat at the front, just under 2. We'll leave it at 2. I'll go 1.8. Now we're going to make this line here coincident with the origin. Overall length, the wall length, 3.8. Okay, and then we are fully defined. Our width, as expected, 7.8. All right, I'm going to extrude mid-plate for this one. Now, showing, this part has a thickness thicker than standard, 1.6. We're going to do 2 shells and do a show preview. Press OK. And what we have to fill in this face between here and that upper face there with an extrude. You know, up to surface, go back down. Okay, so we get that solid wall back. And from there, it's some ribs. It's also a little flat on that front section. Not going to worry about that. Just going to do my ribs. Ribs on this one, quite small. And so 3.2 apart. And actually kind of round, 1mm wide. Can't tell if they're round or triangular. Put them in. Each of them can be 1mm. You're going to mirror that around here. And then the 2 ribs outside to outside, 5.4. There again, it's on that side there. I'm going to extrude that all the way down up to surface. And then on this face here, we have a small rib. I can't even measure it. 2mm. Extrude that, mid-plane, up to surface. That's about 1mm. Part is done. Search for a couple of fillets on the outside. Let's put those on. Name of this part, slope curve 3x1. Very easy. Excellent. Let's chuck it in. Where does it go? On their very front edge. Now here's where we can find out if our dimensions were right. Let's sit the bottom one on this one and the outside face here. And is that in the right place? Sitting on top of the black here. So it comes back like this, so you can see our dimensions wrong. Our dimension is definitely wrong. We can move this one there, and let's edit this one in context. So I think it just needs to be a bit higher. Yeah, this would be 6. That's correct now, and then this gap is 10.6. I would say a little gap there. Cool. That was better. Don't forget the mirror. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate that. This has been the LEGO Build and Learn series by Fully Defined. If the next video has been released, it'll be on the top link to your right. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. Your feedback is what motivates me to provide more content. See you in the next one.